What is up, good people, and welcome to the All Basketball Podcast. And once again, I'm your host, Maurice Dixon. We got another season preview for high school basketball here in Georgia. And on this afternoon of November the 6th, we're going to be talking with the defending Class A6 champions, the Chattahoochee Cougars. And on the show with me right now, I got Coach Short, and I got seniors Keith Murray and AJ White. How you guys doing?
Pretty
We're
good.
good. How are you?
Doing good. So thankful you guys had time to take out talk with me. Really appreciate it. And
Yeah, we appreciate your time. Thanks for all you do for basketball.
you're welcome. You're welcome. You're very welcome. I'm just going to start off with you, Coach Short. What has this adjustment period been like for you as far as dealing with COVID-19 and all the guidelines and restrictions you have to abide by?
Well, I think sorry about that. Our bell was just ringing. But to get back to your question, I think the biggest challenge has not been being able to be with our guys. Fulton County, every county had the freedom to kind of do what they felt was right, regarding the COVID situation. The GHSA left that up to the counties, and some counties were way more strict than others. So we truly had, obviously, no summer. We didn't get together until about 7 weeks ago when our county finally gave us the green light to start doing some individuals and conditioning and things like that. So that's been the biggest challenge for us, is just trying to keep in touch with guys, and text with them or FaceTime with them to kind of keep in touch. But as far as getting on the court, not having any time. I mean, missing June high school basketball in the summer in June is critical for every team, and get a chance to build some chemistry and see what the new guys can do and, things like that. And obviously we didn't have that. So that's been a real challenge for a coach, to try to be creative in how you stay with your kids and, keep in contact with them. And some played AAU ball, some didn't. Some had shortened AAU seasons. It's been kind of all over the place. So try to get out and watch them as much as I could, but then venues were hard to get into. I mean, there's all kinds of issues. So we just kind of roll with it,
Most definitely. AJ, how have you adjusted to, how did you have to adjust to not being able to prepare during the summer and with all these guidelines? How did you adjust to it?
I adjusted by just being patient. I got in the gym a little bit during the situation, but for the most part, I played a little bit of AAU and then just put my focus on football when it opened back up.
Okay, same question for you, Keith.
Like AJ said, we just stayed patient, and probably the most difficult thing to do during the whole situation was finding somewhere to stay active and stay at it, so we could stay prepared.
Keith, was there anything unique you did to stay in shape or just work on what you could?
Yeah, me and my AAU coach, we worked out at Hopewell Middle School almost every day, as much as we could. Every time he hit me up, I was there.
Okay, good to hear about the dedication and just getting the repetition and necessary work. What about you, AJ? Anything particular unique you did to stay active, stay as ready as possible?
I just condition myself a lot. I got a mask that I wear to condition myself a lot. So that's basically all that I did, and just worked on the skills.
Oh, okay. Coach, was there anything you, I guess, suggested the guys do during that shutdown starting in March and kind of, I guess, somewhat loosening up in June, July?
Yeah, I think our message in March, when obviously on Saturday we won the state championship, and then a lot of guys missed school Monday, just exhausted, tired from all 4-month grind season and the ups and downs of the playoffs and all that. And so then we were out of school the next day, and then we were back for a day, and then we've been out forever. So my message to the guys was take some time off. Try to get some rest. Try to let your bodies and your brains recover. It's a long season, and all the scouting and preparation, and there's teams at home watching while we're still playing, which is a great thing. I'd much rather do that than be at home, but at the same time, you want to try to take some time to let your body heal a little bit and get some rest and kind of recharge. And we definitely got that. Obviously, nobody expected the amount of months that we were off, but I think just kind of keep touching base with them. We met occasionally, every couple of weeks we'd get on a Zoom call or something like that and just try to keep them up to date on where we were with the whole virus thing and how our county was treating it and what we could and couldn't do. And we didn't get too much into the X's and O's. It was just more about getting a chance to see each other's faces and things like that.
Okay, I want to go back with you guys as far as some months ago, March, you and just talk about claiming the first state title in school history. AJ, what was the experience like? And I guess the good thing was Georgia got their games, and everybody else, like where I'm from, North Carolina, they didn't. Came to find out they didn't finish, so there was no champions. But what was the whole tournament experience like? And then beating Tri-Cities and then going down to Macon, and I think beating Lanier for the title.
Yeah.
It was an unbelievable feeling, but like during the season, it was a whole grind. Like we wasn't really even chasing a state championship. Like nobody believed in us, but we just kept going and one game at a time. Like Coach says, before every game, like one game at a time. So we just took one game at a time, and we just thank God we made it all the way to the to the finish, and we got the title.
Okay, Keith, what was the whole state title journey for you like?
It was a wild ride. I was dealing with injuries here and there, but the main thing I was trying to focus on was trying to stay healthy. I got knee problems, I got ankle problems, but I just was trying to stay healthy throughout the whole process to help the team, push through the whole season and get to where we needed to be to achieve the goal to win the state title.
Okay, good. I hope you're doing much better now as far as your body is definitely going to be key, and you always want to be healthy. Coach Short, state title run, looking at you guys' schedule from the beginning of this year on, you went on quite a roll. I only got to see you guys play Cambridge in I want to say right before the season, before the state tournament, because I saw you play them again in the championship. But
Yeah,
you guys are rolling from that point on.
yeah, we had we've wanted to schedule teams that we thought would be in the conversation for making deep runs in state tournaments, and to be the best, you got to beat the best kind of theory. I know that's a very cliche comment, but at the same time, we weren't afraid to play anybody. We're gonna tip it up and see if we can do our prep and get ready and work hard and play hard. And we were fortunate to have some games go our way, and then we got to Christmas and we kind of hit a little bit of a lull. We had some heart-to-hearts at the around the holidays, and we only had one loss from that point on. Once we got to the new year, and we had a close win at Cambridge. Keith actually hit a buzzer beater 3 in the corner at Cambridge to put us up there, and then we had a double OT win the next day at Alpharetta. That kind of got us back on track after a Pebblebrook and Kell game. But going in, and we had a 1-point loss where AJ kind of cut his hand and couldn't shoot the free throw at the end at Centennial, but that was the only loss. And, really going in, our region's been tough the last couple of years, so that's helped us to prepare. Been a lot of good coaches, a lot of good players in that region. So, there's not a night off, especially here in Atlanta. You don't get a night where you can just tip it up and let it go. You got to prepare and do your work. And, obviously then we go into the state tournament, and, that Douglas County region down there with Tri-Cities and New Manchester and Alexander. That's a tough region coming out of there. And we kind of thought we wanted to get that 1 seed to play the 4 seed over there, but that 4 seed is just as good as their 1 seed. They're all fighting each other out. So you kind of just, got to get through, and obviously you're in the state tournament. So every game is big, and I'll go back to the Cambridge Region Championship game that you talked about. And I think kind of the idea for our kids all year is they never got rattled. And that Cambridge game is a great example. We were down 15 in the third of that region championship game, and we made an adjustment defensively. Cambridge kind of, in my opinion, was kind of just trying to get through the game, and not lose one. And we picked up our pressure. And AJ actually made a great suggestion in a little 1-3-1 trap that we were doing, and we went with his gut on that. And I trust my players to give me feedback. And so we went with a little adjustment, and we went on a run. And little did we know, obviously we ended up winning the region championship, but really put Cambridge on their heels, and was able to kind of get away with that. And, I always feel like championship teams need a little luck along the way, and ball bounce your way here and there and that kind of thing. But, we want to schedule, tough and right and get us prepared. And I think when the kids see the high level competition every day, their nerves tend to calm, and they kind of rise to the occasion,
Okay. Speaking of the schedule, from other interviews I've been doing, I've been hearing this games are getting canceled. All this COVID stuff is really affecting everything. I see you have your schedule posted. Thanks for that. Be able to see something. Yeah. How is is that pretty much, I guess, hopefully set in stone? And then do you have any other tournament games you think you're gonna be getting? Because that seems to be the big issue everybody's having.
Yeah, we were supposed to go to Memphis for a Martin Luther King kind of showcase over there, and that ended up getting canceled on the Memphis end. But for the most part, everything's kind of seemed to have settled in. We currently have 21 games out of 25. We did lose some. The GHSA moving the start date, we lost quite a few. But finding a common date with other programs that are also looking and filling frantically has been really, really hard. And, we're still talking. I was talking to a couple schools today, just trying to see if we can't fit it in. But, but the region play is obviously superseding anything. And so we want to make sure that region play gets in, because that's what's ultimately going to determine your end, your seeding and whether or not you make that state tournament. So, we keep trying to fill games, but at the same time, we're all we can do is keep trying and hope. But we've definitely lost some, and all we can do is just keep, reaching out to people and trying to make contacts and see what's available and go. But so far, we're in the tournament champions again over at Wheeler, and I haven't heard anything as far as a cancellation or a restructuring there. So that's our holiday tournament, if you will, and. So I think we're pretty lucky in that sense. They're allowing them to play from what I've heard last time. So we're pretty set in at this point, just trying to add here and there.
Okay, good to know. AJ, how are you senior season? It's going to be different. It's going to be unique. But how are you preparing for, or what expectations are you putting upon yourself and upon your teammates this season?
My role this year is mainly to get teammates better and basically score the ball. Me and Keith are going to be like the main people scoring the ball. So I just got to lead these young people and show them the way, because after me, it's going to be like a whole rebuilding for Coach Short and Chattahoochee. So I just got to teach the young people the ups and downs and just learn from me every day in practice.
Okay. And coming to you, Keith, what expectations have you put on yourself this senior season? You got to unmute yourself.
My bad. I expect a lot of leadership out of myself, considering, me and AJ only have this our last year, and they still got some years left. We want to, make sure we get them right before the season is over, so they know what they're doing and they're good,
Okay. Coach Short, what kind of expectations have you placed on these two guys and the rest of the guys who are going to be wearing those jerseys this season?
Well, I'll start with these two specifically, but we try to talk a lot about leadership and kind of having a team-led leadership approach versus a coach-led leadership approach. I think the accountability and the focus that the guys have when it comes from their teammates and their peers is super important. If I'm constantly having to, think of these miraculous, motivational things, it's you'll run out of ideas and events and things to recall on. And I think that peer, influence really does, kind of get us going in the right direction. So I've charged both of those guys with being extra vocal, making sure that the younger guys that are coming in understand where the standard is set. And that has nothing to do from a wins and losses standpoint. It's just about playing hard. It's about giving it your all, having pride in your school and the jersey and representing in the right way, both on and off the court. I mean, those are the standards. And to me, there's two things I don't want to coach, and that's attitude and effort. And if our kids can have, a great attitude and bring that maximum level of effort every day, I think, the rest kind of works its way, through it. And certainly we're going to do our job to prepare and be ready. But, so leadership was big with me for them, especially because they're both going to have the opportunity to play at the next level. I think that's a key part for them going into this next part of their career once high school's over, and for me, for them to kind of lead and show the young guys how to play hard, how to be leaders, how to, do the little things that we do, take care of the details. That's just critical for us to be able to grow on what we've accomplished as a program, regardless of last year. We just want to keep getting better and compete, and that's our goal every night. Like AJ said, our goal is to go 1-0 every day, whether we're trying to win practice or win a game. And if we can do that, the odds have worked out for us.
Okay. AJ, how are you adjusting your mindset knowing that you're a defending state champion and opposing coaches are going to be using that to, I guess, motivate their guys, the other team in a sense?
I know that like we got a huge target on our back coming back, and they're gonna look at us in warm-ups or something and be like, "This the team that won state championship." So I'm not really worried about it because we can defend ourselves against anybody. So we just got to go out there and play our hardest every game, and the outcome, whatever the outcome is, we got to live with it and learn from it.
Okay. And Keith, how are you approaching the same thing, knowing that other teams you're going to have that target on your back, as your teammate said?
Well, from what I've heard, people don't think we should have won that state championship. So whoever's after us, I don't think they know that we after them too. So it goes both ways. We ain't backing down from nobody.
Okay, definitely good to know. You gotta stay competitive and ready. AJ, with all the COVID stuff, were there any games that you kind of were, I guess, keying in on, so to speak, and they're kind of like, now they may not take place?
You talking about like during this season coming up?
Yeah, like tournaments, or your coach said going to Memphis is out, and
going to Memphis was really the main one that I was looking forward to because that's my hometown, and playing in my hometown was probably like a dream come true. But since it got canceled, it was just like got to live with it. So, I mean, we still got some tough games and some tough opponents that we'll probably see in the state playoffs. So, I'm good with our schedule right now.
Okay, what about you, Keith?
This man on mute again.
I was looking forward to going to Memphis too. I got family up there, so I wanted them to come see us play, but it got canceled. And like AJ said, you just gotta live with it. It is what it is. You gotta keep pushing. But yes, we still got a lot of good teams on our schedule this year, and I'm looking forward to play high level.
Okay, definitely good to know. Coach Short, you're a Fulton County school, so I'm hearing all types of guidelines being thrown out there. What is Chattahoochee doing about fans, about changing in locker rooms and all the other stuff?
Yeah, so I mean, it's Fulton County's kind of all on one page when it comes to this. And so obviously we'll follow GHSA and NFHS rules as far as, the bench and having fans behind the bench. That we'll be shutting those bleachers off. So there'll still be 3 sides in our bleachers. Fulton County right now is starting the year with 300 fans in the gym, limiting that. They got to obviously wear masks and be social distancing by, family, if you will, or households. And so that'll be the biggest thing is, for us is we going from big crowds and a great environment to just trying to make the environment, happen for ourselves, in those kinds of situations, and just make sure our kids are bringing the energy each night. But so that's, 300 fans is where it's starting. The terminology seems to think that that's going to go up. A lot just depends on the numbers and how their, what, their metrics is for evaluating that and when they can make that call to increase our attendance. I think on the road, we'll be going dressed most nights with some warmer clothes, obviously over it. That way we're in the locker room shorter amount of time and, just trying to do all the precautions that we can. Fulton County's got us going through screening, testing, and making sure we ask all the appropriate questions, that we document, and temperature checks, got to wear masks indoors and on way out as well. Coaches are wearing masks during practice. So communication's been tough, just trying to learn how to communicate with a mask on and get signals out and things like that. So we're prepared to handle all that. And, our athletic director, JJ Hicks, is doing a really good job of communicating with other schools about how we're going to set the gyms up and make sure the benches are set and how teams are arriving. And, for example, fan tickets are all being purchased online. There's no in-person ticket sales. They got to go to the GoFan site that most of the football programs have been using for a while. But that seems to be working its way into the winter sports. And, I was just talking to the Brookwood coach today, who we scrimmage next week, and they're doing their tickets online as well. So I think that'll be the biggest adjustment, is the amount of fans, how fans are getting tickets, how they're going to sit, those kinds of things. But other than that, we're playing. That's important.
Other than that, there will be games. Keith, is a possibility you're going to, at home, less fans, on the road, maybe no fans, or just much less than usual? How do you think you adjust to that type of environment?
I mean, having a lot of fans is fun, playing in that environment with crowd getting loud when it get intense in the game, but I don't really pay attention to it that much besides that. So I'm not really tripping about it.
Yes. What about you, AJ? How are you approaching the fact that they're going to be much less fans or no fans during some games?
I was kind of used to it in my 9th grade year. It really wasn't no fans there. So, I mean, it's not really I block out fans, but, like, the energy going to be probably different. The energy probably going to be, like, down a little bit, but we still got to just go out there and play our hardest every game.
Definitely got to bring the energy. AJ, they're saying there's going to be – the GHSA decided to take away the jump ball. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think it's stupid in my opinion, because we still going to be touching the same ball and close to each other, so I don't really get why they did that. So, I mean, I think giving whoever gets the ball first is kind of advantage, but it's their rule, so they can do what they want.
Keith, no jump ball. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I agree with that, because it kind of gives the away team the advantage, and that's not fair, I guess. I don't know what to say about that. It's just not fair to me. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Coach, no jump ball. Did you agree, disagree, or it's just?
I mean, yeah, everything I've heard is obviously to protect the officials more so than it is the players. But, it definitely, we teach jump ball configurations and how we want to try to steal the possession, especially if we know or we think we might lose a jump ball. We've got different sets we run out of jump ball scenarios to try to get first possession. And, I think, having first possession, set the tone, trying to execute from the get-go is important. And so, obviously if we're on the road, we're going to start with the ball. And so we've talked about that in practice already is executing the first play right out of the gate, getting a bucket, starting with the lead. I believe a lot of games are won by how you start. And then conversely, when we're at home, we're going to start on the defensive end of the floor. So, we want to try to get a kill, which is to us like 3 stops in a row. So getting a kill to start the game is like our number one priority right now defensively when we're playing at home. So just it does change your philosophy a little bit on how you want to manage that part of the game, but as a coach and try to give your players opportunity to do that. And so we'll start working on that here in the coming, days, and probably work a little bit on that tomorrow. And when we're in our practice sessions, and obviously keep repping it and just understand the importance, have consequences to not executing on the offensive end or defensive end, in those scenarios. But it's an odd, change, but it is what it is, like the guys are saying, and we're going to do what it takes to try to take the advantage back to us.
Okay. Good stuff. Good info there. Well, guys, just a couple more questions. The WNBA and the NBA, they returned. Well, the NBA returned, had a bubble. It was a success, 100% effective, constant tests. If you left, you had to follow strict guidelines. You had to be quarantined. And a lot of guys said it was tough, but they obviously got through it. AJ, if you were playing in a bubble environment, how do you think you would adjust to it?
I think it'll be quite adjustable because it's just like playing at an AAU game or playing like a scrimmage or something. But I think the hardest part would be probably being isolated all the time and away from your family.
Okay, yeah, because there's only so much PlayStation you can play in a day. See you.
Yeah.
Keith, being in the bubble, how do you think you would cope with it?
I think I do pretty good with it. It'll just be like going out of town to a different AAU tournament, staying at a hotel with your team and your coach. How they go. It's normal.
Okay. Coaching in the bubble, do you foresee the challenges you would have, or?
Yeah, I think, obviously the professionals are mentally able to kind of adjust, and, they've got that, mentality. They're professionals for a reason. So it's a little different for them. I mean, I always think about it from like a high school standpoint. I mean, if we were put on lockdown, I mean, my first and foremost thought would be, the mental health of our players and how are they handling it. I mean, we're kind of already in a bubble, if you will. Some of the guys have had the choice to stay and remain virtual students, and a lot of them have chosen to do that to eliminate their risk so we can, have as little interruption to the season as possible. But, I think the biggest challenge would be keeping it fresh, keeping them, healthy, keeping them safe, keeping them, in line with the restrictions and the protocols that are in place. But you just want to make sure your guys are, mentally fresh and mentally, tough to kind of get through that. It is what it is. And hopefully this is a short-term thing and a long, big picture, down of our lives. And I don't think this will last forever, but I do think it's relevant right now. And so just that mental health piece is probably my biggest concern. And I think that was a lot of our Zoom calls and things, just checking with the guys. You guys need anything? Are you good? Where are you at right now? And I think that's important.
Okay. Well, I don't have any more specific questions. I'm just going to come to you first, AJ, and just want to get any closing thoughts you may have as you prepare for this quite unique season that's almost upon us.
I'm just ready to compete again. Being in the gym every day is honestly a blessing for me. But I'm just ready to go out there and compete again and try to get a free education and scholarship to college.
Okay. Same for you, Keith. Last words.
I'm ready for the season. I'm ready to keep working hard. I'm ready to stay ready so I don't have to get ready.
Yes, it's definitely important. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And Coach, is any last words you want to leave us with?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, to our message to our guys is, be thankful for getting on the floor. We had sports taken away from us, and a lot of us, you know, play sports and love it, and that's why we're in it. And when that was taken away, it really gave you some perspective. So we just try to get our guys to, like Keith even brought that up in practice yesterday. I mean, you guys are supposed to be loving what you're doing, and, you know, give that effort, give that mental toughness that comes with being here every day. And, you know, I'm just thankful we're strapping it on and getting ready to go to the hardwoods and tip it up, or in this case, not tip it up, but get a chance to get after it and just play. You know, I like watching these kids compete, and, you know, I try to give them the tools that I think they can help be successful, and, you know, try to help them get, like AJ said, to the next level. And if that's their dreams, and, you know, I think both of these guys will have that opportunity, and I'm just excited for us to get out there and compete. I'm excited to see these two play together.
Okay, yeah, and I just wish you guys health on and off the court. It's more important than anything, and definitely look forward to coming seeing you guys in action. AJ continuing to hit big shots, make highlight worthy plays. I only got to see you one time last year, but it was quite a treat, I must say. And Keith, heard you made one buzzer beater. I expect more big shots from you, and I wish, you know, the Chattahoochee program much success and health. And I just thank you guys for taking out your time to come on to the All Basketball Podcast and talk about the upcoming season with me.
And we appreciate it. Like I said to start the show, appreciate you, all you do for high school basketball, and having us on your show. We appreciate it. Thanks for that. And the same back to you.
Thank you very much. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you all for joining
All right,
in.
appreciate it.
Take
I
it easy.
appreciate it. See you guys.
All right, man. We'll see you.
Well, folks, that's it for this edition of the All Basketball Podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Maurice Dixon. Thank you for joining in. We thank Coach Short, Keith Murray, and AJ White from Chattahoochee for joining me today. And stay healthy. And until next time, peace and be blessed in Jesus' name.